Cowboys game?
Uh, man, I mean, I think Kenny Pickett came out and he did exactly what he needed to do.
Yeah.
Um, Tanner McKee too. I think he's the first player in NFL history to have what he had 5 passing attempts and 2 touchdowns. So
Hmm.
I think we handled that well on every single aspect. I didn't see much to complain about. Looked like a pretty solid win to me. What about you?
Nah, I like that just because it was just at the end of the day, it was we all know it's a division game. The Cowboys Eagles game is kind of turned into it's more of a fan game than the actual
Yeah,
play game, just because we just hate the Cowboys. But
yeah.
I think it's turned into that. But the fact that it was Kelly Green and everybody was just hype, bro. Like low key, I wish I was there. I know I sold my tickets.
Facts.
I know I sold my tickets, but I wish I was there, bro. Just to
We
just
still
get
had
the
a good time though.
no. The Cosm that like the Cosm was on point, bro. Like that's now I'm going there for the playoffs every time. Like
Yep, we'll be there for
yeah,
sure.
bro. And like no, that was fun. But yo, let's tap into the biggest things that everybody's talking about right now with just Saquon getting over 2K. They call him
Yeah.
they say 2K or something like that, bro. Like I
Stay
was
2K.
yeah, say 2K. So that's cool and all, but my thing is, yeah, he hit that. He only 8 other running backs have hidden that. So think about just the longevity of the NFL and all the running backs that we've seen in only
Yeah.
9. Like that's huge, and I think that's one
Insane.
thing a lot of people are kind of like not thinking about as well. Just because I know when Saquon joined the team, he said his whole goal was he wants to break records and he wants to make a name for himself. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, us going into this Giants game, he only needs 101 yards. Everybody's asking this question, and I think we got to ask it too. But
Yep.
before we get up into it, we got to start this show off right, and we got to do what we got to do when we get up in here. But yeah,
Yes, sir.
and anybody watching, tap in. We want to know y'all's thoughts as well. Let's do it.
What's America's bird? Evil.
Yo, so like I said,
Yes,
bro, we got to
sir.
talk about this. So, first, should Saquon go for the 101 yards into this Giants game? And if he does, how long should he sit in the game? And how many carries should he get with those 101 yards?
This is the way I look at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, it's a very controversial topic. Nobody really has the solution on what we should do. We've been hearing the
Exactly.
media talk about it. Nick has no idea. Nick doesn't even know, I don't think, to this point. So
This is a
if I
situation.
were Nick Sirianni, this is the way I would look at it. Okay. Technically, if you think about it, Eric Dickerson did it in, I think, 15 games. So they're saying there's going to be an asterisk next to it if he does break it. But if you look even deeper, Eric Dickerson had less attempts. I think 40 less attempts than Saquon does right now. So
Yeah.
technically, he can break the record in less attempts. And to me, that's more impressive. But if I'm Nick Sirianni and I'm thinking, for the safety of my players,
Mm-hmm.
it may not be the best idea to start them. But at the same time, Jalen has been out, and you don't want him rusty for the playoffs because we're going to have another week off too. So I would
Exactly.
say just play the starters because you can't play just Saquon. If you're gonna try to break a record, you have to play the whole line. You have to play AJ. You have to play Smitty. It's not going to work without those guys. So I say we
Mm-hmm.
go into it with the mindset that it's the Giants. They're a terrible run defense. We're going to break this record in the first half. We're going to let Jalen get some rust off, maybe 2, 3 series drives, just see how we do. And if the record gets broken in that first half, then it was meant to be. If not, it's not worth hurting somebody over. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, and you made a good point. So Saquon has been known to hit. I want to say that Eric Dickerson had 392 carries. That's how he broke his record. I think Saquon's at 347 right now, I
It's like
believe.
340 something. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's made Saquon explosive is I feel like if they make the right plays to have those breakout runs, he can really only be in there in the first quarter.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen it
Do it
happen
right.
plenty of times now where Saquon's like what against Washington a couple weeks ago, he had 110 yards in the first quarter with ease.
Yeah, and it's possible. It's a doable thing because I think first quarter, if you're doing that and you're letting Hurts get his reps in, um, I think that answers our Russ getting shaken off for Jalen. That gets us our record. Nobody really gets hurt. Well, I can't say that. Jalen got hurt first quarter. But I don't
Yeah.
think Jalen is going to take the game. He's not going to go as hard. I think Jalen will look at it more as like a preseason. If he
Yeah.
knows that he's not going to be in there that long. And then really, you don't really even want to tell them that. Maybe
Yeah.
let the offensive coordinator know, hey, like, let's break this record. Only you, if I'm Nick Sirianni, only you and the offensive coordinator know that your goal is to break that record within the first quarter. Like,
Get it over with.
yeah, set that in stone to where now the players aren't just looking at the clock, waiting for it to just melt down. So I think that would be the best move. But then at the same time, I think me and you talked about this a little bit too. I just think the football guys don't want us to get two W's like that. Like,
I know, bro. I don't think so. I'm
like,
right there with you, bro.
yeah, breaking the record and winning a Super Bowl on top of that. And we all know if we go to the Super Bowl, Saquon is going to get like game MVP if we were to win that. So, what is the likelihood of that truly happening?
Well, first,
That's
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
yeah.
Obviously, we know we're football fans. We've been watching the game for 20 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
It's not cemented that you'll win a Super Bowl at this point, right? So we
Correct.
know it's not given. We also know getting to the NFC Championship is the same thing. It's not given. But what could be given is Saquon cementing his name in legacy forever. So that's another
That's
thing.
true.
It's like that's a selfish way to look at it, but at the same time, I heard Shady McCoy say something along the lines of like, it's not a Super Bowl is not guaranteed. None of that stuff is guaranteed. 2,000 yards isn't guaranteed. He did that. So it's like, do you want him to go try to do that because the Super Bowl is not guaranteed, or should we have the mentality that we're going to go win the Super Bowl and let's keep our players healthy?
No, that's facts. And I like that. I like that part of it. And I'll add on to that with because I'm on both sides right now. And
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
tough
I want somebody to help give me some perspective to where I can look at it from a different point of view. And you guys watching too, let us know like what your thoughts are on it, just
for
because
sure.
I want another thought process on it. But I think this is also a scouting goal too. Like
Yeah.
Coach Stoutland is in charge of the run game.
Yep.
So if he goes in as one of the coaches to hit that 2000 and break that record, it makes him look good. O-line wants it too. It sounds more like the O-line wants him to get it. But and then also think about it like this. Everybody except Lane has been out on the O-line.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people. We've seen each and every one of our star players on offense get hurt and be
Yep.
out of the game. What is the chances of them being out again in the postseason? And I'm
I
saying that
mean,
just because we've seen them out. We've seen them out.
yeah.
We've already had our injury wave. So just moving forward, what's the possibility of Mekhi Becton being out for the rest of the season?
He's
Or
already got injured 2 or 3 times this season. Luckily, it was nothing major. But even
yeah,
Lane, you said Lane didn't. I'm pretty sure Lane did go out, but he was able to come back in the game. So
was that the Saints
everybody's
game?
dealt with something, huh?
Yeah, I think it might have been the Saints game, but I think he came back. He was out for a
Yeah,
few days, and we already seen Barkley dinged up the Steelers game. Like we
that's
seen
the
him
thing
ding.
too. He's the only one who hasn't even been taken out yet, bro, and he's 350 carries into the season. This is like I'll tell you right now, I would hate to be Nick Sirianni in this situation.
Yeah. Well, look at it like this too from the opposing team. You got the Giants. You really think
Yeah.
the Giants want that on their name as the team that
Yeah.
let Saquon walk? And as he
Yep.
walks, he goes to your rival team and beats your record and beats the record on like playing against you. That is something that I feel like upstairs will actually try to avoid, honestly,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they've already
Just
been
because,
the laughing stock right now with that move that they made. So I
and
can
who
see what.
knows? Not I can
Yes,
see
sir.
it too. And you don't know if they're gonna try to be out there. Like I don't want to be that kind of guy, but you don't know if they're gonna be trying to play dirty and try to hate on us, bring us down, and try to injure Saquon purposely. You just got to think of all that stuff as a head coach. So I know all that stuff's going through Nick's mind right
Yeah.
now. And I think that the main thing that nobody's really talking about, to be completely honest, every male has an ego to some point, but I don't
Mhm.
think Saquon really even cares that much. I think he's kind of like on the fans' mentality with this is like he came here at the end of the day to prove that he's the best running back in the league. But
Correct.
at the end of the day, bro, that stuff, it doesn't matter if you don't have a championship.
No, that's facts, and I like what Richard said. I believe that the Giants will go out of their way to get Barkley, and that's
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to avoid. I kind of see where you're at with Saquon, but you got to also look at it like this: Saquon has been in the league for 6 years now. How much longer do you think Saquon really has? Like,
Well, that's what we said about Derrick Henry too, and look what he's doing in his eighth or ninth
that's true.
season.
Derrick Henry hasn't had the injuries that Saquon's had either. I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like Saquon has had Christian McCaffrey type injuries like he did with the Panthers.
Yeah,
Like
his
that's
injuries have kept him out.
yeah, that's kind of where I put him at. But and maybe this is just me being optimistic and thinking on a positive note because me and Richard kind of talked about this. Who says Saquon can't do this again next year? Like
Yeah. There's nothing stopping him.
everybody that we have except Mekhi Becton and Dallas Goddard are not going to be on this team or have the possibility of not being on this team after that.
So what's your point though when you say that? Is that like
Well,
something
I'm
like we should
saying
rest
that
him?
no, I'm saying that meaning like, yeah, no other running back has gotten 2 years in a row 2,000 yards.
Yeah.
That could be another record that is broken. That yeah, maybe you didn't hit the Eric Dickerson record, but you were able to do it on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
You were able to do it 2 years in a row, which no other running back has done.
And if you think about it too, even this year, I was looking at this the other day. Saquon has sat out for 5 fourth quarters.
Wow.
I think it was either 4 or 5. So
Okay.
like that's a full game, bro. That's a
And
full
Wayne
game we're
says he
talking about.
has good 3 years left in him. We signed him to a 3-year contract, so we're locked down to Barkley till the end of 2026.
Yeah.
And I think that's what hurts Brown, Smitty, that O line. The only person really is Dallas. Like, and I would love to just keep Calcaterra, but that's another story for another day. But yeah, I personally I'm kind of with Wayne. Like, you got 3 more years. Like, who says he can't
Yeah.
do this? And he can't do it 3 years in a row. Like this offensive line, Stoutland isn't going anywhere.
No.
Yeah, the only
So
way that they can stop this is if Jalen Hurts regresses on his running game and he doesn't become a threat anymore.
yeah, that is true because that does help a lot in the RPO. But I think when you have a good running back and a good offensive line, you're going to be able to pick up yards. I mean, at the same time, bro, 2K that's something that's like we never see that. I've seen it twice, 3 times now in my lifetime. So
Yeah,
you
that's
could go
true.
either way with it, but I don't know. That's why I think it's best to just let them play the first half because at the end of the day, we still need to get Jalen some reps. And if it
Mm-hmm.
happens, it happens. If it doesn't, but then here's another thing.
What's
Say
up?
they do that, they let the starters play in the first half. Saquon needs 101, say he gets 75. Do you think they're just going to pull the plug and put Kenny in, or okay, let's get 35 more?
That's 20. I think
Or
yeah, they're gonna keep him in. Like they're gonna
at
they're gonna
that
have to
point,
keep him in. I don't think Pickett's gonna play. I think it's gonna be Tanner McKee. That's probably gonna play because
his
Pickett still
ribs.
Yeah, he's still bruised up with that rib injury. What did Wayne say? I think we got to split carries with Gainwell in the first half and see how the game goes. Who I don't think start. Yeah, like that would be crazy.
Yeah,
Like, hear me out. You start the game off, you just have Gainwell. Like, let's say you do the first quarter, you just make the whole Giants like change their whole momentum, bro, and just like start all your backups.
yeah,
And then just have Jalen go in the second quarter and have him just end it off. Because if that mentality is, if I'm a Giants player and I know they're putting their backups in, my whole mentality is going to change. I'm going to treat it like a preseason game. But as
yeah,
soon as they make that switch and put Barkley and Hurts in and like get all the starters out there, their momentum's going to be down. They're going to be caught off guard. And I think that's how Saquon can get it. I'm just thinking from a tactical purpose, like if you
yeah,
want to hurry up, get it as quick as possible and get out. I think that would be the best move. Um, he's had multiple breakout runs, so he can. I think he can get it within 12 carries.
yeah. I think so too. I mean, he had 100 that one game. I forgot who it was, but he had like 170 yards in 16 carries or 17
That's,
carries. So
that's not
I mean,
bad.
it
Yeah,
can happen. And if it is a team to do it against, it's the terrible Giants run defense. So
yeah. So talking a little bit about that, what do you think about the defense? Do you think they should sit the defense?
um. No, I mean, if you're going to play starters all the way. If you're not going to, then don't. That's how I look
Yeah.
at it. If you're going to let the offensive starters play, let the defensive starters get reps too. If you're not, then sub them out too.
How long do you feel like you said take them out in the half as well?
Yeah, same thing. It would be the same thing. That's the way, if I was the head coach, that's the way I would do it. Because if I'm going to have my offensive starters, I'm going to have the defensive starters out there with them.
Mhm.
But it wouldn't be like a terrible idea if they did just start the offense for Saquon and then let the defensive starters rest because we have seen a lot of injuries on that side of the ball too, especially with
Yeah.
Slay and who else? Reed. So
Reed Blankenship. You got N'Kobe Dean, who's been out a few times.
yeah,
Uh,
and I don't want him. That's one of the last players I want getting hurt is a
yeah,
linebacker.
Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis got banged up. Like
Yeah,
we have to also remember, and let's see what Richard says. I believe we play Barkley. Haven't tried to avoid unnecessary hits because the Giants may get late hits on them. That is true.
I do agree
That's
with that. I do agree. That was my point when I said, do you think that the Giants are going to have that type of mentality? It would be messed up. Like that's not good football. But at the end of the day, this is a guy that isn't there anymore. They should have nothing but respect for this guy, honestly. But that's just not the
that's what you
way.
would think. Yeah, and I
Yeah,
think I think that would be more of a. I think the way that we're kind of thinking is as a Giants fan too.
probably. Yeah, not as a
I
player.
think I think the team and the players probably know like, yo, y'all could have signed him, bro. Y'all could have kept him,
Yeah,
but y'all chose not to. So that kind of puts it in the perspective of like, this is what he's gonna do when you let him go. Like
yeah.
they knew they weren't gonna go to a Super Bowl with him anyway, bro. Like it's
What Wayne
not.
said is true too. Like if we
It's
get that one run where he just breaks
yeah,
for 50, 60, 70, then that's he could do it in 5 carries.
yeah.
I
That's
mean, you
my
never
biggest
know with
thing.
this guy.
Breakout. The breakout run is what we're looking for. We haven't seen a breakout run since when? Like it's been a minute since we've seen a breakout run.
He had one against Washington. That's how he got the 109 in the first
Yeah,
quarter.
no, that's true. That's true. That's true. I guess I'm saying that because Washington did do a good job at containing him after
That
that
was when
breakout.
Jalen went out. That was when
Yeah,
Jalen went out, though.
yeah, yeah. So they did a good job at containing him, but that Pittsburgh game and the Giants do have a really good defensive line. Like
Yeah,
Thibodeau, Lawrence, Brian Burns, like
but
there's
still, they let up a lot of rush yards to offenses.
that's true. Yeah, it's like I said, it's a slippery slope. And I think what's going to end up happening, they're kind of going to do what we said. I think it's going to be a first half thing. See how far he can go. Like you tell Coach Stalin, hey, we're going to need you to put some postseason plays in there just so he can
Yeah,
get this. Let him get the postseason plays. And Barkley really doesn't get touched like that either. Like,
No, a lot of his carries, he's untouched in the box. So that'd be great.
yeah, he's not getting touched. If they can do that, I think I think like you said, maybe the middle of the second quarter, he can break it, set everybody out. I wouldn't even put Jalen back out there. Like,
Nah.
and I'll be honest with you, Jalen is more of a concern for me than this Barkley thing, honestly.
What, him getting hurt or just being rusty?
Just the reps and the rest. He's he kind of came out pretty explosive against the Commanders, and
Yeah.
I like that momentum that he had. But I feel like after that concussion kind of slows down a quarterback a little bit.
It definitely sets you back. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well,
hey,
that's why I think it's important to get. I mean, why not let him get a couple drives at least, just to get him
yeah,
into that, like, because there's a totally different aspect between getting some drives in practice and walkthroughs versus another team's defense. It's not the same. So if
yeah,
you let
and
him get a
Giants,
couple drives, that would be great.
yeah, and I want to see Jalen play the whole half. Like at the end of the day, I want to see him play first, second quarter. If Barkley
Yeah.
gets it, let's just say first quarter, I think I want to see Jalen finish up the half.
With
We
with
got
the other backups. So you're saying
yeah.
take everyone else out except Jalen?
No, no, no. Keep everybody in, but sit Saquon. Just sit
Yeah.
Saquon because Saquon hasn't gotten injured. So
Yeah.
I like if he breaks the record, he breaks the record. Let him rest, bro. Like let Shipley get in there. Let Gainwell get in there. So like
Yep.
that's the biggest thing on that. But I want to see how Jalen Hurts is going to perform because going into a little bit of this playoffs, we got either the Green Bay Packers or the Commanders. I
Yep.
personally think that if we get the Commanders, it's going to be an easy dub. Like,
I agree with you 100%.
yeah, that's easy dub. Like we gave it to them. You got us. You got us with our pants down, bro. Like our quarterback was out. Like
Yeah.
you got us in a moment to where we had to react fast. Let me look at what Wayne said real quick before we go into it. Even in Dallas, we had large runs. He broke the record with 5 minutes left. Yeah.
He did.
So
I mean, he had a couple 20-yard runs.
yeah, he can make it happen. My thing is we're hoping for that 60 yard run, 50 yard run. If he can get two of those, we're good. Like
Yeah.
two of those and we're out. But yeah, just going into that, Green Bay is, and I think it's a little bit of when we watched that Cowboys Green Bay game. When we
Yeah.
watched that last year and we saw what Green Bay did to the Cowboys, the hype over the Cowboys being undefeated at home, all that talk, all that noise that they got, and then for them to just get out coached, outplayed, outmatched. I
Yep.
think that's what intimidates some Eagles fans. But I just know that at the end of the day, the Packers are not a team to sleep on, bro. You can't sleep on them at any moment.
They're
What's
definitely
your
the better
on that?
team. I
Yeah,
think I agree with you though. I do. But if you think about that, what you were saying with Dallas getting beat at home for the first time last year by the Packers in the playoffs, if you think about it, we were the very next team they played the first game of the season when we were struggling in the beginning of the year, and we still handed them an L. So
yeah,
I'm not scared of either one of them, but I would prefer to play Washington. And the reason I say that is because I do think the Packers are the better team. They lost by 2 points to Minnesota. They lost by 3 points to the Lions. So they're a real deal offense. They have a great secondary. Um,
yeah,
and then you got to think about this too. I mean, Jaden Daniels is amazing. He's probably going to be the offensive rookie of the year, but at the end of the day, he still is a rookie. So he doesn't have any of that playoff experience. Yeah, he played at LSU, but this is the NFL, so it's a lot different.
yeah,
Um, and like you said, I think we destroyed Washington the first time we played them. Second time around, we were on the way to putting 50 up on them, and our quarterback got hurt. So I think we owe Washington an L, and I would like
mhm,
to hand it to them in the first round of the playoffs. And then if we need to see Green Bay, we'll smack them too. So
yeah. This is just the get back at me like scenario that I got, but I would like to get Green Bay, and I want to get the Bucks after that.
Okay, so well, how would it be a get back on Green Bay though?
No, no, no. Like if we play
Oh, okay,
Washington,
yeah.
beat them, and then play the Bucks after that, and then go to whoever gets the first seed.
And then go to the Super Bowl and get our get back on Kansas City. That would be a storybook playoff run right there.
Yeah. So answer this for me: would you rather play Kansas City or play the Bills? Because as good as I feel like the Bills are complete opposite of us, and
Yeah,
I see that from a roster perspective. Um, Josh Allen is probably the best quarterback in the NFL right now, um, but he has no
Joe
weapons.
Burrow.
Yeah. Well, hey,
We
I
had
know
this
you're talking
conversation.
about that. Hey, that'll be another discussion to have after this
Yeah,
one. But yeah, Josh Allen is probably going into the postseason. How about this? Going into the postseason, Josh Allen will probably be the biggest threat of a quarterback right now.
yeah. As long as
So
the Bengals don't make it. Yeah.
as long as the Bengals don't make it, yeah.
No, I
But
see your
hey,
point
Joe
though. I see
Burrow
your point.
did that Broncos game. That that was an elite game by Joe Burrow. I will admit to that.
We'll
And
get into that another time, but
yeah,
you said who do I think is a bigger threat between the Bills and the Chiefs?
yeah,
Uh, I would say probably I'm still gonna say Kansas City's the bigger threat just because they have Patrick Mahomes, whether he's had a great season or not. I mean, he's still an elite quarterback. He still wins games. He's got the best 2 minute offense we've seen in modern history.
mhm.
But I want them. I don't care. I don't care if they're. It doesn't matter to me. I need to play Kansas City in the Super
We need
Bowl
that
again
get back.
because, bro, I have not lived down 2022, and I won't. Nothing will make up for it until we beat them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So I'm
no,
arguing it from that standpoint. But
no, I
who do
like
you
that.
think?
Let's see what Richard said. He said, "Where did you get that Eagles shirt? I collect Eagles paraphernalia." I think he's talking to you, Scott.
I don't know, bro. Your shirt's fire. But if we're gonna go into that, I got this for Christmas. Oh, hold on. Let me
Yeah,
let
let
me do
me take
this
this
real
down
quick.
and see.
It's basically the king of the NFC East. You got the Eagles, the Grinch, sitting on Dallas. Where they at? I don't know, but we're
Yeah,
here. So
yeah.
I decided to wear that because
Yeah.
we
And
didn't
then
have
I
a
got the
Christmas
AJ
episode.
Brown one. The always open. AJ. Yeah, that
You
one.
can send me the link for the Guantanamo Bay hoodie.
Yeah, it's the same link that I got for that one. So, yeah, you get both of them. Man, they got a Devontae Smith. They got a Coop. They got a Coop one, and they got a Hurts. But hey, they ain't paying us, so we can't promote them too hard. But
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that off camera.
yeah, yeah. But yo, at the end of the day, no, I kind of like where you're going with that. How do you feel about Jordan Love, the way he's playing right now? Like, I feel like it's going to be more likely we play the Packers, but how do you feel like Jordan Love will compare up to our defense the way we've been
I
playing?
think I think Jordan Love has been balling. I think he's a gunslinger. He's not scared. He's a great, uh, you know, great quarterback for them for the Packers after losing Aaron Rodgers. But I still think that he's still a young quarterback. Um, I think our defense is a lot better than Dallas's last year. I think that's why he was able to put up whatever I think 300 and something passing yards on them. I
Mm,
personally, I'm not scared of anybody. I don't think he's ready for our secondary. We saw it in week one, and that was before the bye. So to me, that was a whole different team. But
facts.
but the reason I'm saying this is because I do think he's more of a threat than Jaden Daniels. That's why I would prefer to play Washington because
Hmm.
I think Jordan Love is that guy.
No, Jordan Love is. And what Wayne's saying right here, I think everybody is doing this in the NFL. All NFL fans, except Vikings fans, are like we're missing something about the Vikings. The Vikings is the only
Yeah.
team that's when it comes to putting up hits on Love. Yeah. Mason Frazzle, he's in their division, so Green Bay would be the same. Yeah, and I I think. How do you feel about the Vikings defense? Do you feel like the
Oh,
Viking
their
defense is top
defense.
off? Yeah.
Uh, I think it'll be a battle. We just have to trust in Kellen Moore to make the right plays. I mean, but like, you know what? I'll tell you this though. One thing I did learn about watching Kenny Pickett and what's his name, Tanner McKee play this Sunday. Jalen, you got to throw the ball to AJ. You got to throw the ball to Smitty. It doesn't matter if they're covered because those guys are going to catch the ball, and we saw that. If you
Mhm.
put the ball where only they can get it, it doesn't matter if there's one or two on them. So if we just go out there with the mindset of being a pass offense too,
Yeah.
I'm really not worried about anybody. And honestly, bro, the Vikings don't scare me. I know I'm talking crazy, but I'm not worried about no Sam Darnold. I'm not worried about none of that. We beat them every time. They're our worst. We're their worst nightmare. I'm not worried about no Minnesota,
Hey,
especially
like
in
I said,
Philly. Come on,
I
bro.
think the
They're
biggest
not winning in Philly.
I would like to see how Quinyon Mitchell does up against Justin Jefferson or Addison though. I would like to see that
Yeah,
matchup.
that'd be a great Quinyon against Jets would be a great matchup.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson is that threat. Like that's my one issue on that, but I feel like that would be a game our defensive line would kind of just terrorize Sam Darnold. Like
Yeah.
that. And we haven't
Yeah.
seen Sam Darnold in the postseason yet either. Let's see what Wayne says. What's y'all next jersey? Um,
Oh, if Saquon gets the record, it'll be his.
Now, okay. So when I went to the Eagles Jags game when it was the Kelly Green, there was the all black Saquon jersey, and it was the stitched one. And I wanted to get it, but I was like, I bought like four other jerseys, and I was like, nah, I'll get that next year.
You bought four jerseys at one game? That's crazy.
Yeah. So I was like, well, the only reason why I do that, and y'all can probably attest to this, or if y'all know where to get them, um, the pro shop is the only one where they'll actually sell you stitched jerseys.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Fanatics won't give you stitched jerseys. You can't find a stitched jersey on Fanatics, and if you do, it's over 200. Like they had a stitched Saquon jersey for 170. So and it was the all black one. So that will be my next jersey. And if he breaks the record in that jersey, like Saquon
That
in
would
the
be
all
crazy. The all black, that's a funeral.
bro, that would be a tough. And maybe that's a statement they're trying to make. Maybe it is a statement. So who
The
knows?
all black.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't they set the isn't the jersey thing that's set before the season starts, I thought.
No. So they can change that anytime. Um, they actually have the pick for it. Uh, they have to put it in on what jersey they're going to have, but they have
Yeah.
up to three different alternative jerseys to wear. They can't just go
Okay.
crazy. But it's three
Then
alternative.
if they
What's that?
change that, then they're going for the record.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And be honest with me. Are you more of a fan of the Kelly Green or the all black?
Kelly Green.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of the Kelly Green, bro. Green is my favorite color anyway. So
Okay. See, I like the all black just because it's kind of just we about to wreak havoc type jerseys. So
there's that like that's the jersey where it's like we're about to play physical. Like the team's gonna play physical in the all black. It's just we always have Brian
that's what I'm saying.
Dawkins back in those days.
I want to see them in all black versus the Packers.
They did that. We actually did that.
That was 22.
22 when Aaron Rodgers actually Jordan Love got his first game against
Sorry?
us.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
I went to that game. I remember going to that game. It was a Sunday night game against Green Bay, and
Yep.
that all black jersey and that black going up against the Packers, bro. Like that's man. But like I said,
Yeah.
that's one of those things to where that's me personally. I definitely liked Kelly Green just because it's different. It pops. It definitely just it's very vibrant, so I like it. But it's just something
Yeah.
about that black just lets you know like they coming in like that's a defensive type.
You can't go wrong. That's definitely a defensive jersey, bro, for sure. That's a good point. Because that's
Yeah,
just like I just something about it just screams like I'm about to destroy you.
yeah. Jalen Carter in the all
Yeah.
black, Quinyon in the all black. Yeah, that's wild. Let's see what Wayne's talking about. They only have one team wide receiver tape. Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
who's he talking about?
He
They're the
said,
only
yeah.
team with a wide receiver tandem that's on our caliber.
I don't know.
What are you talking about?
Jefferson and Addison, you can't really sleep on them though.
No, you did.
Like,
Hell no. Especially not Justin.
yeah, Addison is getting a lot better than what he was before. Um, Vikings still have a chance for home field advantage. Yeah, if they beat
Oh shoot, that
yeah
is true. That's
yeah
100% true.
yeah if they beat the Lions, that'll be that's how they'll get that advantage.
Because this game between Detroit and Minnesota is for the 1 seed, I think.
Correct. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
for the 1 seed, but right now since Detroit won, they're tied. So Detroit and the Vikings are both tied right now. So
Yeah,
whoever
but
wins home field advantage.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
but I was kind of curious about this the Bucks game. I don't know if the Bucks lose, do the Falcons uh take the 4 seed?
If the Bucks lose, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so
They're
if the
still in the
Bills,
hunt
yeah,
because the Chargers or the Rams, they already locked up the 3rd seed because they won a division. So I
okay.
think depending on the Bucks, I forgot what the Falcons' record is, but I'm pretty sure if the Falcons and the Bucks were to tie, the
Mhm.
Falcons would win that over strength of victory.
Yeah, I can look that up real quick too for the Falcons. But yeah, let's see. Richard said, "Does he like the Curly Green jerseys a lot more?" And I feel you. It reminds me of the '91 Eagles. That defense is crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
that's just a classic.
yeah, Vincent,
What
what's
up,
going
Vince?
on, Vincent? And Wayne, I have a jersey and you stitch jersey up. Okay, okay. All in color. Yo, we're gonna have to. Hey, you're
Sounds
gonna have to
good.
hit on Messenger. Let me know. So, yeah, yeah, they haven't beat us
The
in
only
a
thing, see, I'm talking all this crazy stuff about not being scared of no teams, but ironically, if I were to pick one team that I'm seeing right now that I'm actually
Mhm.
scared of, or I don't even want to say scared of, that I would have like a gun to my head, what team are you scared of the most? It would be Tampa Bay, and that's because Todd Bowles is one of the best, most underrated defensive coordinators of all time, and he knows how to
Mhm.
scheme up plays for our offense.
Yeah,
But sorry, I forgot his name, but like he was saying, we didn't have our 2 best receivers,
Wayne. Yeah.
and that was before the bye. So I don't know, bro. But Tampa Bay
Now we
defense,
will say this though too. Um, the Bucks did beat the Lions as well. The Bucks
yeah,
beat the Lions.
exactly.
So let's say the Vikings win. That's going to be a good game to watch with the Lions and the Bucks. The Lions might just beat the Bucks and do our job, like do that job over there.
Yeah,
Then we just gotta worry about whoever wins out of the Commanders in LA. If I'm right, because I know it switches up because I think whoever wins that we will end up playing, I believe.
I mean, I think the Vikings would definitely beat the Buccaneers because the Vikings are more of like a pass offense, and that's how you're going to beat Tampa Bay is by just throwing stuff all over their secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if it would be nice though if the Vikings win and then the Lions have to play the Bucks and the Bucks end up beating the Lions. So would you want the Bucks to beat the Lions or the Lions to beat the Bucks if that was the
I would like
scenario?
the Bucks to beat the Lions because I
Okay.
think because look at it like this: if we beat Green Bay, like let's just say we play Green Bay, we beat Green Bay, and then the Bucks beat the Lions. We going up
Yeah.
against that number one team that everybody has said Jalen Hurts. That's Jalen Hurts' kryptonite. Like Vic
Yeah.
Fangio team on him, and if we beat him, how confident would you be about going into this NFC Division Championship game?
Yeah,
Like
I'd be 100% confident.
so, like that's the way that I look at it. I want our first game to be like a momentum. Like, when you lifting, bro, and you just want a warm up set. Like, it's not too
Yeah.
heavy, crazy, just a warm up set. this game that we're going to play is going to be a warm up. Like
Yeah.
this is really seeing like what we can really do. I feel like
It's to
Green
get
Bay's
our
gonna,
offense back in rhythm.
yeah,
That's what that
the
would be.
Green Bay's going to throw the kitchen sink at us. That's the crazy thing about it. But
Yeah.
it's just this defense, bro. I'm way too confident in this defense to stop anybody.
That's why I keep saying I'm not like there's no team that really like strikes fear in my heart right now looking at this picture because our defense is just too good. Like we're not gonna get I keep seeing people, the media, the Philly media talking about like if Philly gets into a shootout, are they gonna be able to handle it? We're not going to, bro. It's either
Yeah,
if some team beats us, they're gonna whoop us, or they're just not gonna beat us at all. But a shootout's just not gonna happen with this defense, especially when they get that momentum going.
yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
No, that's straight facts. And I'll add to this. Let's see what Vincent says. He said if the Eagles play man coverage against the Vikings, it'll become interesting. Vikings have an advantage over the Eagles. Yeah, and those receivers, I don't think Quinion has played. The closest thing Quinion's had next to Justin Jefferson is probably Mike Evans, probably. But like Justin Jefferson, that's highest paid receiver, bro. Like he's the highest paid receiver for a reason. Um, I don't think you can put Slay on him. You can't.
No. Well, hey, Slay got 2 picks on him, but that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Slay did. Let's not
Bradbury was
discredit
starting 2 years ago, bro.
that. But Slay got 2 picks on Justin Jefferson in man coverage.
Yeah, no, that's facts. So everybody in the comments right now, everybody watching, like, give me y'all's thoughts. Would y'all like that second round? Let's say we beat Green Bay or we beat the Commanders. Who would y'all want to play next? Would you rather play the Bucks or would you rather play the Vikings? Based off of this right here, what would y'all? Who would y'all prefer first? Like that's the honest thought that I want to get from y'all. Because like I said, I want to get everybody's opinion on this. And I want somebody to change my mind. I truly feel like I want my revenge back on the Bucks. We lost to them twice. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's AJ, but at the same time, like, we should be able to beat teams with one player being out. Like, I'm sorry. Like, this team
Yeah.
has too much of a roster for us to say without AJ.
What Wayne said is right too, though. I don't think Baker can beat the front four with the blitz because that's one thing Baker doesn't see a lot of because they do have a good offensive line. That's why Bucky Irving is snapping on
Mhm.
teams right now. But our defense, bro, if we rush Baker and put pressure on him, he's not going to be able to get the ball out like he's been doing against these other teams.
Yeah, but this is the way I kind of view Baker. We can't sleep on the fact that Baker can run too if he needs to.
Yeah, yeah.
And
He's not like a
he runs
dual
kind of like
threat
Mahomes.
quarterback,
Like
though.
sometimes you forget Mahomes can run.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how Baker reminds me. CJ will help Slay. That's true. And then have Cooper on the other side with
That's the
Quinion.
thing. CJ is gonna help Slay. So if he is
Yeah.
in man for some reason on a deep shot, I don't know. I mean, like you said, bro, you can't underestimate Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. But I'm too confident in our defense. He's gonna get his yards, but
Mm-hmm. Then Richard says Buccaneers. Like I said, the Bucks. I think we need that back. We need that back. Bucks
okay.
wouldn't
So
have.
everybody feeling the same way.
Yeah, they're going Bucks. What's this, Nikki? He said, I say start quarterback Tanner. Okay. Nikki, please let
Against
me
who?
know. Why would you want to start Tanner after we've seen him? Yes, he's actually the only third string quarterback to score 2 touchdowns in only 4 attempts in history.
No, he's the
NFL history.
only NFL. Yeah, he's the only NFL
Yeah,
player, not even third string, just quarterback
yeah,
ever.
yeah. Like that's like I truly want to know that.
But he's not going to start in the playoffs, though.
why do you want Tanner out there? Because you gotta like I think us as Eagles fans, we have to be realistic. Jalen, we don't expect Jalen to throw for 300 yards plus. We don't expect that. We expect him to use his legs, and we expect him to be efficient in other areas. And I think that is something that the Eagles knew back when they had Miles Sanders. They knew
Yeah.
that with the type of quarterback that Jalen is, yeah, he's good right now, but he can be even more elite if we have an actual threat at running back. We have Miles
Yeah.
Sanders. We let Miles Sanders go. We thought we had something with DeAndre Swift because DeAndre Swift was that guy with Detroit. But DeAndre Swift was not good at blocking. He
And
was
if we don't
terrible.
have Jalen, that just totally takes away the RPO. Like we're not running any RPOs because that's what Jalen uses to pick up yards with his own legs too. So that takes
Yeah.
the whole. I mean, obviously we saw what we can do without Jalen, but that was playing a trash Dallas team. So in the
Yeah.
playoffs, we need Jalen.
And you gotta remember too, just Jalen's presence being on the field, it makes teams have to play you respectfully.
Exactly.
They
Exactly.
have to, because they can't sleep on Jalen's capability of getting up 10 yards. Like it forces the defense to play you differently. Like they have to play you respectfully. Um, Baker ain't out running. Hey, that's true, but Baker sure did he sure did run on that playoff game. That playoff game, the defensive line was playing and Baker was running on us against Green Bay if possible. Okay, against
Uh,
Green Bay. Why you say Green Bay, Nikki? Just curious. I don't put them in the
don't
same
put him
category.
in this team. No, 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 no.
No, no, no.
No. He's not a dual. See, Lamar and Daniels are dual threat quarterbacks. Baker's not even remotely close to that. But if he needs to escape the pocket, he can. But I agree with you though, Wayne. I don't think he's outrunning us either. Maybe he did last year, but this is a new year.
Yeah. Well, now Wayne, are you putting Jalen Hurts in that caliber, or are you not putting Baker in that caliber?
No,
Like
I think Wayne's talking about Baker.
he's talking about Baker.
I think so. Because you were
Okay.
saying that he can run, and I think he's saying don't put him in that caliber.
Let's see. Let's see. He said, guys, something everyone is missing. Tanner is 6'7", can see over the O line. Stop looking at small things. Yeah.
But the thing is, he doesn't have the experience. And I'm not saying I think Tanner's probably going to end up being a great quarterback, whether it's with
I
us or
think
somewhere
Tanner
else.
is like
But
telling more. I think
but
Tanner is telling more.
yeah, but look, this is my point. You can't take we're week 18 with our quarterback that we established as our quarterback. We paid him $250 million. He made the playoffs for us 4 years in a row. You're not
Mhm.
taking this guy out no matter what the cost is, unless he gets another concussion. Then I would say put Tanner in over Kenny Pickett, but taking Jalen out and putting somebody else in the playoffs is just silly.
Yeah, I think I'll be honest with you, and you can even ask Jay. Last uh last preseason game when I saw Tanner McKee, I was impressed by him. I was
Me
impressed by
too.
his skills, just because like he's more of your smarter quarterback. He's gonna his decision making was quick. That was the
Yeah.
thing that we were impressed by, and that is something that Jalen has. But Jalen has been hesitant just because he's played so much with as many times as he got all those interceptions. Like you're gonna be a little bit hesitant. Do you feel like if Tanner McKee got the same amount of interceptions that Jalen has, he wouldn't be as hesitant either? So that's the perspective that I look at it. Yeah, he can see over the line, but even Russell Wilson couldn't see over the line. They told him that he would do a 9-step backdrop. So that's what made Russell Wilson good with the Seahawks. So
I
like,
mean, we've been talking about this for a while now with Jalen taking blitzes and not getting the ball out quick enough. And I still think that's a problem. I think that's his biggest problem. And I think that's what's holding Jalen Hurts back from being like one of the most elite quarterbacks is taking too many sacks, not being able. Well, he can read the blitz. He's gotten a lot better at that, but he still does make a lot of bad decisions. He does hold the ball for too long. And we saw with Tanner and even Kenny Pickett, they got the ball out pretty quick. They didn't take a lot of sacks and they were smart with their decision making. But still, bro,
This
you're
was a
not taking Jalen
This
out.
was a Cowboys team that was already down. This was a Cowboys team that was already down though too. So you would put Tanner McKee
Oh,
out there.
he's talking about this week.
They're,
He's talking about
they said put Tanner out there. So like
I mean, Yeah, but he's saying he's talking about like against the Giants
Against the Giants. I
this
think
week.
Tanner's going to end up playing against the Giants because Kenny Pickett
I
isn't.
think he should. I think he should,
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
honest.
Kenny Pickett's still injured, so I think Tanner's going to be out there. Like after Jalen walks off, like they're going to have Tanner out there.
Yeah.
Um,
Even if Kenny was healthy, I think I think Tanner should still get
I
it.
think Tanner is better than Kenny Pickett. Yeah, I'll put that.
I think so
I
too.
would like to see us invest in him. Like he said, no, I don't mean the playoffs. I mean this week. Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying for Saquon to beat the record, put Tanner out there? Or you're saying after the whole record's broken, or after that second half, just put Tanner out there?
Yeah, see, I still want Jalen to start just to get the rust out, but when it's his time to get off the field, then put Tanner in.
Yeah. And then he said the height is the only difference between Hurts and Lamar. That's true. That is true. Yeah. What do you think about so like just looking at this, we kind of I know we were talking a little bit about the Bucks and the Lions. What is your thoughts on the Lions? Did you watch that game last night?
Briefly, I was at the gym, but I was watching
Yeah.
it. Um, Trying to think, what did I see there? You know, one thing about the Lions that is pretty impressive that I think is going to help them a lot in the playoffs too is those trick plays that they run. Like
Mm-hmm.
they always work, bro. I've never seen them mess up a trick play like that. Whether it's the one where they got like Amon-Ra running a slant and then he turns around and drops it back to Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff, that's honestly what separates them from like good and great is the ability to do stuff like that and it work to
Mm-hmm.
perfection. And then another thing that I saw is in the thing that separates them between the Chiefs and the Lions is when it's a close game like that, Detroit just has a way of like pulling away from the game versus Kansas City, they just seem to keep it close the whole way through. But I
But
mean,
that's always been the Chiefs' MO though. Like
that's how
they
they
never
play though. That's what I
truly
was gonna
blow you
say.
out. Yeah. They never truly blow you out. Um, I watched that game all the way up to probably like the beginning of the fourth quarter. That was a very tight game. And
It was,
that whole
yeah.
first half, the 49ers were looking more dominant than the Lions were. I think they were putting more pressure on Goff. Um, Brock Purdy was
He
playing
was
well.
balling.
Yeah, like there is some excellent decision making by Brock Purdy. I think what threw that whole game off was that kick that was missed before halftime.
Okay,
Like,
I didn't see that.
yeah, so the 49ers had a chance to beat them by two touchdowns. They didn't get it, so they end up kicking a field goal. They missed the field goal. 2 seconds left. They end up going in to the half. They give the ball back to the Lions. Lions ended up the Lions actually got stopped twice. And then after that, Brock Purdy threw the interception. So
Yeah,
with that being said, to play the Lions, you can't slip. Like you can't
bro. They're
like
gonna find the holes.
not a time to miss kicks. That's not a time to miss kicks. And Brock Purdy, I think, played a good game that first half, and it did make the defense look very suspect. Like that game, you could tell that the defense was struggling against they struggle against strong offensives like that. Like
Yeah,
the 49ers, yeah, they're not going into the playoffs, but they made a statement by saying we still have that defense.
yeah.
They're playing
That's
them.
just the team that you can't let up on is the Lions. Like you said, if you show any inch of letting up, they're gonna attack that. They're gonna exploit it, and then it's probably over from there.
Yeah,
But
and like the next anybody next to the receivers that the Lions have played is Justin Jefferson and Addison.
yeah,
I don't know what Justin Jefferson's stats were against the Lions last game, but they haven't played an AJ Brown.
no,
They haven't played AJ. They haven't played Smitty. They haven't played Dallas Goddard. Like I think Dallas Goddard. I put him up there with Hawkins and what's his name with the Rams, that tight end with the Rams that they have. Like
I know who you're
Dallas Goddard,
talking about, but
a healthy Dallas Goddard is a threat as well.
big
So
time, yeah. And he's a good blocker, which helps.
yeah, a healthy Dallas Goddard can take you far, and I think that's what a lot of people sleep on. And when you get those weapons on the as far as receivers, and then you got the run game the way that it is. When was the last time we seen our whole entire team playing together? Calcaterra has done a
Yeah,
great job, but like having all of them there at once, it's been in rare form. So
yeah.
that I think that's a huge threat that a lot of teams aren't thinking about because there's really no film on that.
The
Like,
Lions haven't played a top five defense all year. Yeah, I
uh,
mean,
the Lions played the 49ers. The 49ers still have the number 2 defense right now.
I thought Kansas City had the number 2 defense.
Nah, I want to say the 49ers. If you want, I can look that up real quick. But yeah, I think the
I know
49ers.
it's us. It's us, Denver. I know the Titans were actually in there. Kansas
Titans were.
City. But yeah, I'm interested to know who's the top
Yeah.
five. But like Richard was saying, the Lions defense is suspect. Like they show their moments. They have their moments. But other than
Mhm.
Kirby Joseph, like just getting those lucky interceptions, I don't think they're ready for an offense like ours.
So they did get knocked down. They're number 6 right now. The 49ers was number 6 defense. Um, so number 1 defense is the Eagles. 2 is the Titans. 3 is the Dolphins. Believe it or not. 4 is the
Wow.
Chiefs. 5 is the Jets. 6 is the 49ers.
And the Lions have played none of them except the
49ers.
49ers.
Packers
Yes,
are
that's
number
a good
8.
point. I mean, that
Yeah.
makes me feel even better about playing the Lions in the NFC Championship.
Yeah, the Lions, bro. The Lions have not played. I don't think the Vikings were top 5 defense this whole season. I don't think
No,
the Vikings defense was just better than it was expected. It was like okay, they got a defense on them, and that's all. Shout out to Brian Flores.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, at the end of the day, like I just think the way this offense is playing, we we all know Vic Fangio is probably sitting there watching them play and coming up
Yeah,
with scheme.
for
What's
sure.
Wayne? He's like, yo, hey, I had to make sure because last time I saw it, the 49ers were up there, bro. But yo, you got that. But but yeah, bro, like you can't tell me Vic Fangio's not out there coming up with
Scheming
some
up.
scheming
Yeah.
for the
I mean,
Vikings. Like
that's
he's
what he's
not
done
doing.
this whole season.
Yeah, exactly. And how do you feel? How do you feel about Kellen Moore coming in? Like this would be his first this wouldn't be his first playoff game, but it's definitely going to weigh heavier than he did with the Cowboys.
I mean, just keep doing what you're doing. Like we were getting on a roll there. If we come into the first round of the playoffs with the same scheme that he had written up for that Commanders game, because obviously we've been struggling with those first 15 scripted plays.
Mm-hmm.
But the first time I saw this season where I was like, damn, this schematic, first 15 plays, first drive was working was against the Commanders right before Jalen went out. So I
You don't
don't
think
I
so
don't
with the
know
Steelers?
what. No, we still didn't score in the first quarter against the Steelers though.
We
I think we
did?
had a field goal. I think we had a field goal in the
Okay.
first quarter against
Yeah.
the Steelers.
I know Jalen was definitely playing well against the Steelers.
He they were playing well, but it wasn't until the Commanders when I really was like, okay, this is how we need. We're ready for the playoffs. Like this is it right here. Whatever we're doing right now, it wasn't nothing special. It was literally slant routes to AJ and then like post routes to what's his name. So it's just stuff like that, bro. It's getting the run game going and then opening up the play action stuff like
yeah.
that. I trust Kellen. I think we're gonna do fine. It like Wayne said, he definitely over the course of the season, I've seen Kellen Moore learn to adjust because we have been stagnant in these first quarters, sometimes even
Mhm.
these first halves. But if you look at it at halftime, he adjusts to the defense completely.
Yeah. Do you feel like I kind of looked at it like this? I think Kellen Moore was trying to play through his playbook, trying to make Jalen the star, but he found, and not saying Jalen isn't a star, but he realized the secret recipe is Saquon. So
Yeah, but I mean,
he aimed it
I don't
more
think he was trying
towards
to make.
Saquon. Well,
Go
the
ahead.
quarterback is supposed to be that's supposed to be who your offense kind of runs around is
Yeah,
the quarterback. But I think after he realized that it was Saquon is that person that we need to operate the team around, it opened up holes for the receivers and for Jalen.
yeah, okay, I see. But that shift changed pretty early though, probably like
Yeah,
week 6, because that's when
yeah,
Jalen started throwing like 15 to 20 passes a game instead of 30 to 35, and that's
yeah.
when he switched to.
No. You got a point. And I looked at that Brazil Green Bay game. Jalen threw for 270 yards that game.
Yeah, he did. But that's what I'm saying though, is like those first 5 weeks of the season,
Mm-hmm.
if you look at the stats, we were a pass heavy offense. Like Jalen was throwing 30 to 35 passes a game. And then once that bye week came, that's when it started dipping down into 15 to 20, but that's when we started winning games.
Yeah, we went into that bye week with a loss from the Bucks. That
Yeah.
that
I
kind
mean
of had
that's not fair, but
yeah. Let's see. He said even the Cowboys game the first was shaking up. Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's fact.
That wasn't the best first quarter either.
Yeah, bro. Like it's at the end of the day, I think our biggest thing is this is playoff Jalen.
Yeah.
And we've seen bad playoff Jalen. We've seen good playoff Jalen. And it's kind of been bad playoff Jalen, good playoff Jalen, bad playoff Jalen. And we're hoping for good playoff Jalen coming in. I
Yeah.
just know one thing, bro. If he gets hit and my man gives the thumbs up, take him out, bro. Take him
Yeah,
out.
facts. That man was like I don't even know what was going through his mind, but what I do know is that boy wants to play, bro. That boy
Yeah.
wants to play no matter
He,
what.
bro, you gotta save him from himself, bro. Like
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
and now when I see that thumbs up, I'm like, just take him out, bro. Like
I
don't
don't
even waste.
trust him. Yeah. I mean, they
So
gave him his helmet back though. They did give him his helmet back at first. I don't know who the hell did that.
yeah, I don't and I know we missed last week too, and that was a big concern that I had. Just why give him his helmet back? Because apparently the protocol with concussions is the medical staff takes your helmet away
They
from you.
take your helmet. Yeah, they've always done that.
Yeah, because it's been known to where players will run out, try to get 1 or 2 plays in, and then go back out and go sit out. But in this case, like he had his helmet on, ready to go in, and somebody just told him, no, you got to go back. So,
But somebody gave it to him at first though. That's the thing.
yeah. But you
Because
got to also think about this too. He said, it hurts.
he was though.
That's funny. Okay, so Hurst and Brown drama happening more so the 4-week AJ can That's true. That's a good point, Wayne. I like that. That's a real good point. I like
So
that.
he
I like
lined up on the opposite side. Is that what
yeah.
you're saying? Okay.
hmm Yeah. But with that, but what was I about to get into? No, I was gonna say with that concussion protocol, they called him to sit back, and he sat back for a little bit, and then all of a sudden they took him all the way, like they just took him away from the game. A lot of people were saying that was kind of the NFL telling him no.
Yeah.
What did you think about that? Because like he's missed technically 3 weeks of just
Yeah.
playing.
I
Like
mean, the first thing that went through my mind was as soon as he got hurt, they took him into the medical tent in the blue tent. And then we saw fast forward, I think the quarter ended. And then when the second quarter was about to start, he had his helmet in his hand. And then he never came back in the game. And we never got like nobody said anything about why he had his helmet or like whether maybe they didn't take it yet at that point, but
mhm.
they should have. So that seems skeptical to me. I don't know if Vegas had anything to do with it, but you never know. But
Yeah. Well, I
like
know he wore the
our
two
whole.
shoes that he got fined for as well. And the NFL doesn't like when you basically just like
Did you see that they actually posted that? The NFL themselves posted on Twitter, Jalen two shoes hurts, and then they deleted it.
yeah, he got fined for that. Michael Jordan ended up paying it off, and then Jalen
Yeah,
went in the Commanders game and wore those same shoes.
the same
So
thing. Yeah,
yeah, so Michael Jordan's basically paying his fine every time he goes out
just
and
like
wears it.
Nike did the same thing for Jordan back in '85.
Yeah, no, that's facts. That's what I was gonna say. Like you got to think about the way that Jalen carries himself too. Remember,
Yeah,
he doesn't can't tell what emotion he's going through. So it
yeah,
probably is very hard to tell if dude truly has a concussion.
that's true because he looks whether he's concussed or not, he looks the exact same.
Yeah, like it's not that like he seems like he's always concussed, but like at the end of the day, he's a person that speaks very little words when it comes to anybody outside of like somebody he's close to. So
Yeah,
maybe him just giving that thumbs up, he was like, "Yo, I'm good," and he tried to get away
I mean,
with
we
it.
all know he wanted to play. Like he's
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts, he definitely wanted to
who wouldn't
play.
want to play, bro? Like it's Commanders. Then like he
Yeah,
was having a good game too. He
he
was
was having a
having a
great. He was on track to probably have his best game of the season, which sucks, bro. That's what sucks.
That's why I would like to play them in the playoffs again. Like
Yeah, he's gonna, bro. Jalen would eat that game up, bro. I'm telling you.
now, this is another thing too. The Commanders have been that only team to kind of beat up on Jalen like that. Like, because remember the first time they played him, Jalen was concussed that game as well.
What this year? This season?
Yeah, yeah. That
Well, no, I don't think they ever officially like ruled him concussed though. I think we just
they didn't rule
speculated
him
that.
concussed, but that hit looked worse than this
It
latest
did.
hit that we saw. So
But you got to think about though. They always say like football players always say the hits that get them concussed. Like sometimes you wouldn't be able to tell on TV when they hit their head on the floor
that's true.
because
But I guess
that's
I'm
when
going
your
back
brain
to it.
shifts.
Yeah, I guess I'm going based off Tua because Tua just yeah.
Well, yeah,
It's
that dude's just all right. That guy's a whole different story, bro. That guy is
yeah,
the king of concussions.
yeah. But
But I think this is all like this is everything we're saying right now is the reason why I want Jalen to play on Sunday.
yeah, we want to see if the concussion like really shook him or it was literally just holding him back and he was straight. Like
Yeah,
I want to see that. Still helmet to helmet. Yeah, yeah. Everybody was
that's true.
saying it was. I saw helmet to helmet. It looked like helmet to ground, honestly. Like
Wait, are you talking about the Commanders game?
yeah,
No, what happened there was it was helmet to helmet, but if you watch the end of it, his head smacked the ground at the end.
yeah. That's what I was saying.
That's where the
So he hit
concussion came
the
from.
helmet, then he hit the ground. So
Yeah.
like Hurts is Johnny. Yeah, that is true.
That is
That's true.
true.
Let's see, Wayne Jordan has been his humble, yeah, since Bama.
100%, bro.
That's the goal. No, it was helmet to helmet on the turf. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. They hit helmet to helmet, and then he hit the ground or the turf,
yeah,
whatever you want to call
it was a nasty hit. It was like I wouldn't say that it was a dirty hit, but it was just the way he landed was nasty. The
I'll
way
put it this way: it didn't look like a hit that I don't see every single. Like I feel like I see that same hit every single time I'm watching a football game, but
Mhm.
it just crazy things happen, bro. Sometimes if your head hits that right spot, it can happen. Or is
Yeah,
Vegas pushing the odds?
no, but that's true. And I want you to think about this too. That was the same game that Chauncey got the
Ejection.
yeah, he got ejected, but they're starting to call that a lot more now. Not
Yeah,
Travis, Xavier Worthy got that too.
yeah.
Xavier Worthy at the Christmas game. Um, I just want to say this is my first time seeing y'all. I appreciate this group. Keep it up. Hey, we appreciate you,
Appreciate
Wayne,
you, bro.
watching us, bro. Hey,
Keep
and
watching, bro.
if you ever want to come on, Wayne, too, like you can reach out to us. We'll definitely be reaching out to you about the jerseys. And yeah, bro, if you ever want to come on and just talk birds, bro, you always more than welcome. Sorry, Say cute. No, he good. But yeah, at the end of the day, I look at it as if Jalen, I just think at the end of the day, bro, Jalen just needs to play this next game because I don't think he's a quarterback that can rest and still go back like brand new. Like I just don't think
Yeah.
he's built like that. I'm sorry.
With his type of play too, it's not like he's just a pocket passer. Like he's a dual threat quarterback. He runs, he holds the ball. Like that's kind of stuff that's like you got to prepare for that during the week. So that's
Yeah,
what
that's
really
fact.
sucks.
Now answer this for me. This game that we saw against the Cowboys, was it truly the passing game, or would you say it was just better decision making? I personally think it was better decision making because the decisions that were made of who to give the ball to were happening quicker than what they
Very
were
quick.
there. So I don't think Jalen's passing is never the problem. It's the decision making that he does because he doesn't want to make the mistake, honestly.
That's why I said, bro, I think when Jalen does come back in the playoffs, I think the thing that really needs to happen or this week is just throw the ball to your guys. Like you just watched, I don't know if he was, I don't think he was at the game. Maybe he was at home, but
No.
obviously he's watching the game. If you are watching your backup and your third string put the rock in your best player's hands, double coverage, single coverage, and they're catching the ball and everything's working out, then you do it. I know we're playing a trash defense, but like AJ and Smitty, we take them for granted sometimes. Those dudes are two of the best pass catchers in the NFL. Put the
Mhm.
ball in the breadbasket, bro.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's better. Like you said, it was better decision making because we're getting the ball out on time and where it needs to be. And maybe Jalen is scared to do that at times, but that's a fault on him, man.
Yeah. And maybe not scared, but just more hesitant. Because like I think
I think
Jalen
it
is
is scared a little
windows
bit.
right. I think his windows are he's seeing the windows as being tighter than what they really are. I don't
Yeah.
feel like as tight. And you look at all of those passing touchdowns, they were simple pass touchdowns, bro. It was no tight windows. It was simply like I'm running this route, make sure it's over there, and I'll go get it. And we
Yeah.
had the receivers to make that extra, do that extra razzle dazzle, just to get it in. I truly feel like the reason why we haven't seen Dotson, bro, is because there's no film on him, and they're going to utilize Dotson this postseason, just like
I
how they're.
don't think you're right, but I hope you are. I think he just sucks. I think he
Hey,
just sucks, bro.
the reason why I say that is because remember Quez Watkins. Quez Watkins was getting his receptions in
Big
the
time.
in the playoffs. He was getting his reception in the playoffs, and it was the same thing. We were like, bro, Quez is trash. Like, we need to get rid of him. Like, we were saying the same thing, but like, if all your defense has film on is AJ, Smitty, Calcaterra, Goddard, and then all of a sudden, like Dotson's now a threat. Think about that.
I just look at it as like I feel like Kellen Moore has maybe adopted the same mindset on offense as Vic Fangio has on defense. The way Vic looks at it is if he sees a player is not performing well in practice and not doing what he wants him to do, he's just simply not going to play him. I think maybe this is just my opinion. I think
Mm-hmm.
in practice, Kellen and Nick don't particularly like what they're seeing from Dotson. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
he's not getting receptions and reps and stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean, he did good in Washington, so it's not like he's a
So
bad player.
no, you're right, but Dotson's out there a lot more than you think, bro. Like Dotson is
He,
out there.
he, he is, but he's never being targeted. Is that
He's
Jalen
never,
then?
huh?
Is it? Do you think like Jalen's just not throwing to him because Jalen's gonna throw to a hot route?
Tanner nor Kenny Pickett threw it to him.
That's the thing. So he's never hot routed. Like he
But
never
remember
has the
this
go route.
though.
Or anything.
But remember, back when we were playing the Packers, the Falcons, even the Saints. Remember Britton Covey?
Yeah, yeah,
Was
that was
getting,
ridiculous. That was
that's what I'm
crazy.
saying. Covey was getting catches. So I feel like those plays are out there, bro. I truly feel like those plays are out there. And
You
it's
think they're
not
just? Yeah.
it's kind of a little bit of what Wayne's saying. It's that third check down. And like if you're telling Jalen, yo, we know AJ's gonna be covered and Devontae's gonna be covered, Dotson's gonna be right there for you, bro. Dotson's gonna be
Yeah.
right because that's all defense are gonna be thinking about is Smitty, AJ, and you can't forget about Saquon running around the corner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I hope you're right, bro, because that would be great. If we
yeah,
could,
this
because remember
it'll
that
make
one
the team an
play?
actual threat. Yeah,
Remember against the Jaguars when he had that like 50-yard ball that he caught over the guy?
mm,
Like we've seen him make I was gonna say make plays. We've seen him make a play, so it's like
yeah,
it's there.
yeah. And kind of what Wayne said, Covey got catches without AJ. Yeah,
Oh, that's true. That was when AJ was out, but that was stupid. At the same time, we got to think about this too. When Covey was getting those receptions, it was like wide receiver screens. I think he got a slant or two, but there was one game against the Saints, I think it was, where he got
hmm
like four wide receiver screens called for him. Like that's not
yeah.
Jahan's not going to get that.
Well, but just remember this too. Like Covey, Covey is underestimated when it came to that position. Like when it came to those scenarios, he was underestimated. So at that moment, he was the right decision. Like
Yeah,
I hope they're thinking like I'm thinking. That's it. Like,
I hope so too.
like because that would be crazy if all of a sudden Dotson and when you watch these postseason, these regular season games, these plays that they're doing, they're not the same plays that are being played in the postseason. They're not.
Yeah,
I truly feel like the Lions are the only ones actually doing that right now.
running
Like that.
postseason plays in the regular season.
Yeah,
But
that's
it
my
could be.
honest.
If you look about it like this too, what if they got these play? What if that's like Dan Campbell's a psychopath, bro. Like he may be putting these plays out there, and we may never see them in the postseason. It may be something totally different.
It could be something totally different, but this is it's Ben Johnson, right?
Yeah, their
Ben Johnson
offensive coordinator.
on that making the plays. I
He's
just
calling the plays. Okay.
yeah, like something has to be going on. Let's see what Wayne says. My problem is that Moore is running too much motion for Hurts to at the same time as the receivers in the Super Bowl use timers. Yeah, it's OC not Hurts, it's the system. So let me ask you this, Wayne. And I had a few other people tell me this. Do you think Brian Johnson was helping Jalen Hurts' development a lot more than what Kellen Moore is doing? Because I've had people tell me that Jalen Hurts is was developing more with Brian Johnson.
See, I do like when they put Goddard in motion, though.
Yeah. Goddard being in motion does throw off the yeah.
It throws off the defense, and it can also help for run block.
Mm-hmm.
But wasn't our whole thing about like we need more motion? Like that's what most people were saying.
Yeah, the motion was Jalen because remember with Kelsey retiring, that was Kelsey calling what he was seeing, and Jalen said that's what I want. Jalen wanted that, so Jalen wanted to take on that responsibility, and I think he's doing a good job. We're 13-3 so
Yeah,
far. Like we can't, as much as people do not like Jalen and hate on him for the way that he's been playing. He's 13-3. Even Joe Burrow, like you said, the best quarterback you say in the NFL, he's not 13-3.
yeah,
Like
that is
Jalen
true.
he has to be doing something right, bro. Like
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to defend Jalen to the death,
mm,
but he has a much better defense than Cincinnati
yeah,
does.
hey, yeah, much. Hey, like I tell people whenever they're like, "You got Saquon." Hey, it's the NFL, bro. You could have picked up anybody you wanted.
You could have you could have had him. You
Yeah,
can't use that.
you
So
could
he
have built
said, look
it.
at Hurts in the
Yeah,
shotgun without the RPO. What does? What
let
do you
me see.
mean by that, though?
Look at her on shotgun without the RPO. What he does is he's going to AJ every time. Yeah, Jurgens. Now that's somebody who we have been sleeping on is Jurgens, but
Yeah,
I think Jalen is just not going to. He's not going to. Jalen's going to advance as he progresses too. Do you feel like Jalen has hit his ceiling now?
I'm not gonna lie. It's hard to say that, and that's because I'll tell you why. He can't have a consistent 3 seasons without changing coordinators. I mean, he's had different coordinators his whole NFL career, even going back to college. So
Mm.
the reason why I would say I don't think he has hit his ceiling yet is because he hasn't established consistency with an offensive coordinator. It's tough to like when you're just changing guys, changing plays, doing all this.
Stop winning. Stop winning.
Yeah,
Stop
right.
winning.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah, because if you like we were talking, I think we were talking about this on Sunday. If
Mm.
if we make it to the NFC Championship, we're gonna probably have a new offensive coordinator again next year.
Well, that's where I have the issue with Nick Sirianni because at the end of the day, Nick Sirianni was supposed to be the OC guy. Um, when Nick Sirianni was hired, their whole goal was to have Vic Fangio become the defensive coordinator and
Yeah,
Nick be the offensive guy. But the fact that Nick's offense is not a Jalen Hurts offense, they have to bring in another coordinator every time. Now, I will say this: there's a lot of controversy and a lot of issues going on with the Colts right now. Who says Shane Steichen will not get fired by the end of the season? So why not bring Shane Steichen back?
if we were to have to, if Kellen Moore were to go somewhere, I would say that would be the guy that we should go after because we already established dominance with him as our offensive coordinator.
Yeah, and it was straight up be like Shane Steichen got the job with the Colts, picked up Richardson because of what he did with Jalen Hurts. So
Yeah,
if we bring back Shane Steichen, this is just a what if scenario. If we were to bring back Shane Steichen, we probably have him for a good 2 years. Just because people say, okay, this is the same guy that had Jalen. We brought him in. This is what happened. Bro, when your quarterback is saying, I don't want to go back out there because I'm tired, that is a culture issue.
yeah,
And
that's bad.
that's the head coach that's in charge of that culture issue. That is
Yeah,
straight up fired, bro. Like that's like you can't
yeah,
make that.
I agree.
And Richardson is not going anywhere.
No,
So that's just my straight up opinion on that. And you also got Doug Peterson, the person that was sitting there in the draft room that wanted Jalen Hurts.
yeah,
Bring him
that's
back
a
from
that's another candidate. Yeah, but
so
do you think? So let me ask you that then. Do you think, um, like Super Bowl year, Jalen Hurts was his ceiling, or do you think there's more potential
I
than
think
that?
there's more potential. I think Jalen Hurts, by the time Jalen Hurts retires, he's gonna have a better season than Russell Wilson.
You, like his like comparing their two best seasons?
No, no, I'm saying at the end of the year, when you compare both of their careers, Jalen Hurts is
Oh,
going to have
okay,
a better career than Russell Wilson. And
okay,
I say that he would have a better career than Russell Wilson just because Russell Wilson and Jalen Hurts are basically the same quarterback. And if I was to go even further back, I would say Donovan McNabb reminds me more of Jalen Hurts. That's just my personal opinion. Like, if you
I
disagree,
can see the comparison. I could definitely see the comparison, but I look at I guess we just have to let that play out though,
well,
because
look at
the
look at
older
McNabb's
that
stats. If you look at McNabb's stats when he was with the Eagles, he was playing just like the way Jalen did. He was playing the
yeah,
same way. Not that many passing yards, more, but a lot of rushing yards.
a lot of
And then,
rushing yards.
yeah, then he started getting better, and they made 2 seasons straight of Donovan McNabb straight passing. He was going over 200 plus passing yards, but they weren't getting anywhere. It wasn't
Yeah,
until they added back his running when they went to the playoffs and they went to the Super Bowl with Terrell Owens. Like,
yeah.
yeah, look at like if you look up his stats, bro, like Donovan McNabb and Jalen Hurts have similar stats.
And then
Like,
towards the end of his career, when he couldn't use his legs as often, he just wasn't really that great of a quarterback.
exactly. But I
So
think
that's my
Jalen
point.
did that to himself. I think Jalen would just leave. Yeah. I think
He would
Jalen
just
would just
retire.
yeah, I think Jalen can give the Eagles 2 rings. Like in the
I
long,
hope.
yeah, I think in the long run he can give the Eagles 2 rings. If
I think
anybody,
that's. I think especially if we keep this core team.
yeah,
When we played the third, we ran more shotgun than any other game and threw for more yards. Yeah, that is
yeah.
true.
Let's see, facts, bro. Stop winning. Yeah. Hey, you gotta stop winning. Now you gotta think about it. Last year, the Lions kept Ben Johnson and they kept their defensive coordinator.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, do you think Kellen like? Yeah, I'm sure they'll definitely offer him like a good check, but do you think Kellen Moore himself would want to go be a head coach somewhere if given the opportunity?
I think Kellen Moore's long-term goal is to become that. But this is where this is where teams have the issue. So nobody wants to make a lot of these offensive and defensive coordinators assistant coaches. If you are an assistant coach on the team, uh, no other team can reach out to you to a certain
Yeah,
like timeline in the period. The fact that we didn't make Shane Steichen or Jonathan Gannon an official assistant coach, that's why they were able to get reached out to. So,
yeah.
but we made Vic Fangio one, but Vic Fangio isn't going anywhere. And I don't know if Kellen Moore is considered the assistant coach. That is something I will have to look up. But if he is considered the assistant coach, the Eagles will be able to sit down and have a conversation with them before any other team can reach out to him. But, bro, would you rather stay on a team where you know you can get rings back to back? Like,
I mean, yeah, personally, but it's a selfish league, bro. I mean,
it's
coaches
selfish,
too.
but I feel like you've seen so many coaches like on a high horse and just crash land, bro. Like
You've seen a lot of, especially offensive coordinators that have success and then go on to be head coaches and then fail. That's like a repeating pattern in the NFL.
Eric Bieniemy is the best example of that. Like
Yeah,
under Patrick Mahomes, you got 2 rings with Patrick Mahomes, and then all of a sudden, like you go over to the Washington Commanders and you're a
and do
nobody, and
nothing.
nobody wants to pick you up. Come on
Yeah.
now. Moore won't go anywhere if he wins the ball. Stay with the Colts. Hey,
I
hey, it
mean,
is what it is.
but then so the same would go for Doug Peterson too, if
Let's
that's the
see.
case.
He said it's not fumbles caused. Hey, he said fuck McNabb. Yo, I'm telling you, look, yo, I'm not a big well, I'll take that back. McNabb was probably one of the quarterbacks that I started watching like when I was younger and I stayed watching McNabb, so I can't say that. But at the end of the day, I look at it like this. Just look at McNabb's stats. Look at McNabb. How long has Jalen been in the league? 5, 6 years?
2020,
So look at their first
four,
5
5
years.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look at McNabb's first 5 years and look at Hurts' first 5 years. They're identical. So I'll just add that to it. He had Andy Reid. He had a young Andy Reid that was
oh
known for
man,
bad clock management.
if you want to get into that, we would have had 3 Super Bowls as a franchise if it wasn't for Chip Kelly.
But Andy Reid had to learn from his mistakes, and I think that's what Nick is going through right now. Nick
Yeah.
is his first time being a coach. No, Chip Kelly would have had Vic. Hey, and what did Chip want to do? Get rid of all of them.
That bro, that's another guy I'll never forget.
You know
Because
what makes the Eagles one of the best teams in the NFL, or probably the best team in the NFL, to have a fall off like that and still come back. There's teams that
yeah,
have fall and they're down for like decades, bro.
that's the thing, bro. Is like I know a Super Bowl means everything, but at the same time, we gotta appreciate these teams that we've been seeing these past 5 years, bro.
The winning
Like
culture that
these,
we have.
just we've established a winning culture, and we're just missing the rings. But with winning culture comes rings.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you this, and Wayne, I actually want to get your input and anybody else watching. If this team that we have right now, I feel like this team is Miles Garrett away from a Super Bowl. Like, that's my personal opinion. I feel like they're miles Garrett away. What if this team does not? If they go into this game against the Packers and they get blown out, let's just say they get blown out by the Packers. Get blown out. We've been talking about them winning. We got to talk both of them into existence. If they get blown out, this would probably be the biggest disappointment of an Eagles roster that we've had in a very long time. Well,
I definitely agree.
Probably in history.
But
because think about the buildup. It took you 3 years to build this team up, starting with Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean on the defense. Like,
yeah,
think about that. And then adding to AJ, these linemen, everybody that we got, this would probably be the biggest disappointment of a
it
team.
definitely would be. But the core of the roster is still there. Like we're still going to have a lot of these guys. We still have a lot of them under contracts.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's hard to even look at that because that's not happening. But if it were to happen, I do think I think there would be changes made. Like Nick would be back on the hot seat, whether you want to believe it or not. It's just how it works.
I say let Nick go. I say let him go, bro. Let him go.
If we get blown out in the first round of the playoffs,
yeah, you let him go. Because at the end of the day, like you've seen him at his worst, and you've seen him at his best.
You've seen him at his best, yeah.
And you still didn't see him he still didn't cross the line at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, because if you put it that way, that would be a Super Bowl loss, blown out in the playoffs.
Playoff loss, then Super Bowl loss. Because remember
I'm saying it would be just like I'm not saying in order, but this is if we were to get blown out by the Packers in 2 weeks, we would have seen Nick lose the Super Bowl, get blown out in the playoffs 3 times. So at that point, yeah, he would be gone.
So he's one of the top winning coach. But at the end of the day, bro, this roster, this is a roster that we didn't think this team, bro. I had this team at 12-5 starting the season.
So did I actually, yeah.
I had them at 12-5, and now they're about to go at 14-3. So you're telling me if this team goes 14-3 and they don't have the Kellen Moore as experienced as he is, he can't make something happen? Like Nick Sirianni, he can't make something happen, bro. I just think this is a talented team, bro. This is the team that people are comparing to that 14 team that went to the Super Bowl and the 91 Gang Green. They're comparing this team to that.
Yeah. Definitely, if that were to happen, it would be the most upsetting loss in Eagles history, probably. But if you think about the reason why I know for a fact that's not going to happen is because if you want to talk about it happening to Dallas last year, we don't have the same defense as Dallas. Plus, they didn't have Trayvon Diggs or Deron Bland, so they didn't have a prepared offense. And Jalen Hurts, as much as we're talking about him, whether it's good or bad, he's not Dak Prescott, and he's not going to let that happen 2 years in a row.
And I feel like the Green Bay Packers do better in domes.
Yeah, they do. They're better, even though they have a outside stadium.
Yeah, I just think they perform better in domes, just like hell, the Eagles perform better in domes this year. So
yeah,
let's see what Wayne's talking about. He's like, I'm 46. McNabb was the best regular season QB. But so you're saying McNabb is like Prescott? Because that's kind of what people say about Dak Prescott. He's like the best talent. This is the best talented team in history. That's what I'm saying, bro. It
definitely is, bro. Look at it. It's not even just on paper. It's on paper, we're the most talented team in history for the Eagles, and on the field, we are too. So,
and you want to know what's crazy? A lot of people don't watch us.
No, they don't.
When you talk to other people that are not Eagles fans, they don't watch the Eagles play. So they really don't watch us until our team plays them. Until our team plays them, and they realize how good we actually are. I think this is them talking about Nick. He said Nick is straight gangster. 3 times out of the postseason, bro.
But that's what that was what we're saying. If the Packers were to blow us out in the first round of the playoffs, like putting that into existence, knock on wood, if that were to happen, from Nick, we would have seen three playoff blowouts and a Super Bowl loss. Because remember, in 2021, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Brady destroyed us. Last year, the Buccaneers with Baker destroyed us, and then the Green Bay. So
Yeah, and let's just say if the Eagles were a bad team and they were in the same situation as last year, our conversations that we were having last year was, is it Hurts or is it Nick?
yeah,
So like at the end of the day, I think Nick is just doing a better job at just making sure the culture is still there in the team, because I don't think Nick was doing that. He said I had us losing 2 games. He had us losing 2? Okay. I actually
yeah.
want to know what games you thought we were going to lose.
I'm gonna guess Ravens and Dallas.
I was thinking Ravens and Steelers. I knew we were going to blow Dallas. Bro, we had 40.
Yeah, but it's always competitive division game.
Yeah.
What did he say? Wait, go back to that.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, we had 4 defensive coordinators in 3 years and 3 years. Yeah, that's the other thing that I was getting at earlier.
We had 4
I mean,
defensive
it is.
coordinators.
Yeah, because technically, the Matt Patricia started calling plays last year. He took over the defense
Okay. True. Yeah, I forgot about that.
because Sean Desai was just bad.
I don't know,
He
bro.
was
I
much
don't think
better though.
that bad. I definitely think Vic Fangio is that guy right now. But
Yeah,
I like that this team is getting turnovers now. They're making the turnover game now rather than it happening like what, first 5 weeks or the middle of the season. They're starting to get these turnovers now, which means that the game is slowing down for them, which is good. Yeah.
that's a lot of the reason too.
Mm-hmm. Dallas was hurt. He said Washington and Pittsburgh. Okay.
Okay.
That's fair. I truly thought the Ravens were that team when it came to defense, but when we found out their pass defense was not elite, bro, like that's what drawed up red flags.
I mean, that's a good point though because Washington played us tough 2 times last year with Sam Howell. So
yeah, this is a whole new roster too.
the whole new roster, yeah.
I think the Commanders have always been that team that's always given us a hard time. Even that Super Bowl year, like they gave us a hard time. Like
Yeah, they played us well.
yeah, and I think I think it's probably because we're closer to them. Like we could probably have some type of something out against them. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be good having Jaden Daniels there. He's definitely going to take Dak out of conversations. That's good. So like, no, I definitely feel that. But no, Jay, we've been on here for about going on an hour 40. Not Jay, my bad, Scott. We going on about 40. But yo, what's your final like recap of everything? Talking about Saquon beating the record, and with the playoffs. Just what's your whole recap of everything before we head up out of here?
I mean, I'm still going to stand firm on what I said in the beginning. I think we should allow Jalen, whether it be the whole half or at least the first quarter, just get some reps in, just so he's not rusty for the playoffs. Because, like I said, it's different getting those scenarios in a real game versus in practice.
Yeah.
So just put the starters in, let Saquon try to get the record, let Jalen knock the rust off, and then take everybody out, and let's just blow them out. Let Saquon get that record and get ready for the Packers.
Okay, Packers. Got you. No, I'm right there with you.
Assuming that's the team we play.
Yeah,
assuming that's the team.
That's gonna end up being the team that we play, because the Packers are playing the Bears, and the Packers need to lose, and the Bucks are playing the Saints, and the Falcons are playing the Panthers. So
it depends on if the Packers lose and Washington wins, then we would play Washington.
If the Packers lose and Washington wins, but the Washington Commanders are playing the Cowboys.
Yeah, but I saw something earlier. I wish I could remember what it was. I saw something on
The
Facebook.
the Commanders have a better record than the Bucks and the Falcons, so they would actually not be the seventh. It would be either the Falcons or the Bucks that we play because they'll drop. That's the
Oh,
scenario is crazy, bro. The scenario is like, I think
I
I got
saw.
it right. Here it is right here.
Yeah.
So this is the scenario.
Okay, so yeah, so regardless, we're gonna play whoever's the sixth seed, but the sixth seed can only be Washington or Green Bay.
Just either Washington or Green Bay. But I think if both of those teams were to lose, then it'll be either the Falcons or the Bucks. I think that's what somebody was telling me. We play the Rams after Green Bay. I would love that, but I want my get
Yeah,
back with the Commanders.
I do too. Now that we
Um,
talked about that, I do too.
yeah, yeah, and yo, my recap so far is I'm really hoping that Saquon can get these 100 yards within the first
Yeah.
uh, within the first quarter, maybe middle of the second quarter. Take them out, let everybody rest, and like you said, just get ready for the Packers. I truly hope that the defense gets out in the second half as well, just because I want Jalen Carter healthy, I want Jordan Davis healthy, I want Nakobe Dean to be good. I want them to I want that conversation to come up with Brandon Graham possibly coming back. Because remember that whole talk of Aiden Hutchinson not coming back, and they're saying dude's already walking, like
Yeah.
running water and crap. But no, I would like to see Brandon Graham come back, and I want to see Bryce Huff do something. Um,
Yeah, that would be nice if he just made a push or something in the playoffs.
yeah, bro. But
Just any spark off the bench.
But yeah, that's the game's going to be at 1 o'clock against the Giants. It's another look at what the playoff picture could be, and this is the standings right now. This will probably help with the Tampa Bay and Atlanta talk. So yeah, so it looks like Tampa would have to lose and Atlanta would have to win.
But either way, they would be
And I'll
a
knock
different
either one
seed.
out. But I want Tampa to win though. I definitely want Tampa to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need Tampa to take that so we can go back and play them. Before y'all leave, defensive player of the year for the Eagles.
Zach
Yeah,
Bond.
yeah. Zach Bond. Yeah, yeah. Zach
I
Bond.
mean, he's got to be, bro. Zach Bond's average. His stats are what Kuechly's stats
No,
were when he
his
won the
stats are
MVP.
up there. Yeah, his stats are up there. Zach Bond.
I think they're better
We're
actually.
we're definitely going to set up a time to where we can, and might be good for next week. Maybe have a free agent talk. See what people we got coming in as free agents and what we should expect from them contract wise, and who we expect to stay, who we expect to go. I think that would be a good talk, and I think everybody would like watching that, and we can get their
Yeah.
opinion on everything. But but yeah, bro, definitely a good one. We'll definitely be
Yeah.
back on it next week, and we appreciate y'all. Go Birds.
Appreciate y'all.